Hello, Don Brooks again. I want to talk about something that is current, like I usually do. Have you ever heard of a television show, Greta, called The Untouchables? Or was that before your time?
Definitely before my time.
Okay, fine. Well, it was a big popular show in the 60s. Where were you in the 60s?
I was not even a gleam in my mother's eye.
Oh, you're young. Anyway, there was a big show, a real popular show. It was called The Untouchables. And it was about Elliot Ness, who was a crime fighter in Chicago, and his war against corruption, and this was during the time of Prohibition, and the kingpin, Mr. Al Capone. I bet you've heard of Al Capone before.
Who hasn't heard
Yeah,
of
well, who hasn't heard of Al Capone? No matter how. Al Capone was a terrible guy. He was a murderer. Well, you know what? I take that back. He had people murder people. So he was responsible for murder. He was responsible for all kind of drug stuff. And he owned Chicago. He owned Chicago, and they could not get anything to make it stick, to put him in prison. He was too cool. And I don't say that in I'm not bragging that he was cool, but he was too cool. He was a terrible guy. But anyway, they couldn't put him in prison because he was too slick. But they finally got him and put him in prison. And it was so funny. But it wasn't for a racketeering crime. It was for income tax evasion. So y'all make sure you pay your taxes. That's the only thing they could get him on was income tax evasion. But you know what he did while he was in prison? He still controlled the Mafia. He still controlled the underworld. He was that powerful. Does that sound familiar? Does that sound familiar?
Maybe.
There's a guy that's been hoovering around Washington, D.C. He was a president, and he's not the president anymore. They got rid of that guy, but he's still controlling a party. Just like Al Capone had the police in his back pocket, this man has a whole Republican Party in his pocket. So I don't want to applaud him, but I gotta, as his young people say, give him his props. Yeah, he
So
controls. He's still, yeah, that's what y'all say.
So what about the movie The Untouchables?
Well, it was a movie, but it was a television show, and this is one of the episodes from the show. It's great. It was about Elliot Ness fighting against the racketeers and the criminals led by Al Capone. Okay, and this is how it happened in the 20s, okay? It was in the 20s. So this is not the 20s, this is the 20s, 1920s, 100 years ago. And speaking of that, this Don Brooks show is going to be called The Modern Day Mafia. Yeah, led by, not Al Capone, led by Donald Trump. The Republicans are in his pocket. I think it's sad. Just think the latest thing that's going on. They don't even want an investigation on the terrible insurrection on January the 6th. Why wouldn't anybody want to find out about that? Because it's going to expose things about their party they want. What's wrong with just wanting the truth? Well, Al Capone didn't want the truth. He just wanted to stay in power. Donald Trump doesn't want the truth. He just wants to stay in power. Hey, if I'm not telling the truth, let me know. I'll see y'all soon.